This is what a zombified corporation looks like. From The Advocate, Bud Light pledges $200,000 to support LGBTQ plus business owners of color. Bud Light is currently reeling from a massive boycott, which has knocked it down from the number one spot in the country to number two. Number one now is Modelo. In the United States, Modelo is controlled by Constellation Brands. So this is a correction update from the previous segment. I did mention this, but, upon further investigation, I have more information. Basically, there was an antitrust suit which said Anheuser-Busch InBev can't own Modelo in the U.S. So outside the U.S., it's Anheuser-Busch. But in the U.S., Modelo, now number one. I'm glad to hear it. I like Modelo, so that's a good thing. But let's talk about the zombification of enterprise. Bud Light knows that what they did with Dylan Mulvaney hurt them severely. But they keep on trucking along like mindless zombies. Now, I wonder, with the latest news being that Bud Light's parent company sees $27 billion gone. Shares near bear market. 20% down from its highs. 27 billion wiped out. I will say this. People have asked, can you sue Anheuser-Busch for violating or neglecting their fiduciary duties to their shareholders? I believe the answer is yes. If you are a shareholder in Bud Light and 30% of their customers jump ship, their stock is in free fall, and we all know why. And Bud Light responds by saying, we're doubling down. They're intentionally destroying the stock value. They are intentionally sabotaging this brand. Now, it may be, that's why I call them zombified. It may be that they're just mindlessly marching along. They don't care. Well, that's negligence. And if you're holding stock, I imagine you're going to lose a lot of money. You probably already did. You're going to lose more because, man, I'll say this. If you were somebody who, here's how I broke it down, because Target is also down like, I think, $13 billion. If you were holding on to Anheuser-Busch stock when this controversy started, you probably thought, look, these things blow over. Boycotts are not going anywhere. I'm fine. I'm not going to sell my Anheuser stock. That'd be silly. Then when it dipped by a few bucks, you're probably thinking, well, it went down, but it's probably the bottom. Then it went down way more. Now I think it's down like $15 or something with no end in sight. Now you're angry thinking like, okay, maybe this will finally stop. And then Bud Light announces they are doubling down. Not only are they giving $200,000 directly to LGBTQ plus causes, we also have Bud Light sponsors Cincinnati Pride Parade after Dylan Mulvaney controversy. It's a zombie brand. It is a zombie brand. It is being worn like a skin suit. There's no one in charge anymore. There's no one looking at this company and being like, hey, our goal is to sell beer. It's institutional capture. I don't know what you could do. I'd imagine if you are a shareholder, you probably have grounds for a lawsuit. But at this point, anybody still holding the stock either just isn't paying attention to their wealth and they don't care. Like, you've got to be somebody who just puts your money away and forgets about it. Did I have stock in that? Wow, I lost a lot of money. You must be very well off. I'd imagine most people who are holding shares in Anheuser-Busch were probably freaking out. I wonder who it is who's still holding this. No, seriously. I mean, obviously people still have Bud Light stock, but even if you support these social justice moves, you don't need to just lose all your money. That's the craziest thing. It's like, all right, give your money away, I guess. Sitting there, I'm going to keep holding the stock for personal, principled reasons. So, okay, you could sell it and put your money into literally any other company for the next couple of months and still support Bud Light in what they're doing. I don't know. I guess there are people who are just like, it's okay to lose tons of money, or they're just not paying attention. Check it out from theadvocate.com. They say Bud Light and the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce announced on Tuesday that they will expand, typo guys, their existing partnership with Bud Light donating $200,000 to the Chamber's Communities of Color initiative. Bud Light was brewed to be an easy to drink, easy to enjoy beer for everyone 21 and up. And that still holds true today, said Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, in a release. We look forward to extending our work with the NGLCC to continue making a positive impact on the LGBTQ plus businesses that play a critical role in bringing people everywhere together. The Communities of Color initiative support LGBTQ plus business owners from diverse backgrounds through developing certificates, scholarships, and business development opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. Anheuser-Busch loses top LGBTQ plus rating over its Bud Light response. And now you see, they care more about their cult rating than they do their shares. This is the future unless we do something about it. This is what communism looks like. And I'm not saying it's all identical, and there's probably a better word for the modern version of what we're seeing: techno-communism, algorithmism. The ideas that are being presented, and the reason they do these things, is solely based on mindless algorithmic marching forward. The people running Bud Light have been zombified. They don't know. They don't care. The company, look, I got to say, if you lose 30% of your customers in 2 months and you keep doing the same thing, it kind of feels like whoever's in charge fell asleep at the wheel. What happens when someone falls asleep at the wheel? Okay, I'll put it this way. You're driving in the big old Bud Light truck carrying the beers, and there's a person, he's driving, and you're going down the road and everything's great. That person falls asleep. The car starts drifting. For this moment between the explosive crash and 25 car pileup, in this brief moment where the driver is asleep and the car is drifting, you know something's wrong. You can see that the truck is veering off path. You know that if you continue down this path, you will crash. But in that moment, the truck is still there. The beers are all still there. And then, very shortly after, the driver falls asleep. Kaboom. So what do I see? Bud Light is asleep at the wheel. Their company is veering dramatically off course. It's spiraling out of control, and they're doing nothing to correct it. Nothing. They've just given up. They've decided, jump out of the vehicle. You know what this is? They just jumped out of the driver's seat, and now nobody's driving. What's going to happen? I wouldn't be surprised if Bud Light does collapse as a brand. I'm not saying it will. I mean, that would be like massive. I think it's fair to say, actually, that Bud Light as a brand is garbage at this point. They still have sales. People will still drink it because people really don't care all that much. Like, give me a light beer. I don't care. I've seen people when I go out there drinking Bud Light. I went to a bar and they had a bunch of Bud Light in the fridge. Most people weren't drinking it, though. I see a lot of people drinking Coors, and it makes sense when you look at the data. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bud Light becomes a negligible, generic garbage brand that people mostly don't care about. I mean, look, they're giving the beer away for free right now. They have all these stores all over the place where it's like $15 case with a $15 rebate. Free beer. There was we stayed at we stayed in Charleston, West Virginia for Memorial Day, and I didn't notice this. I think it was Ian who pointed it out. We were given free drink coupons. This is really, really funny. When we checked in, we were given free drink coupons, and I was thinking like, oh, that's cool. Like, I wonder why they do that. The free drink was Bud Light. No joke. The free drink you got was Bud Light. I wonder if the reason they were giving out free drink coupons was because they can't move the Bud Light and it costs money to dispose of. If a hotel chain has 1,000 bottles or whatever, and they're like, how are we going to get rid of this? Like, it's better off people drinking it so that we can get rid of it. So they gave out free drink coupons. This is really amazing. Bud Light parent company Anheuser-Busch sees $27 billion gone. Shares near bear market. I have to wonder, can you sue? I think the answer is yes. And I think people who had stock in Anheuser-Busch probably should. I mean, for one, you definitely need to be complaining. They're doubling down on all of this. We're seeing now, look at this. We got this story from, are they blocking me? Tip ranks. Kohl's stock falls in Pride uproar, like Bud and Target. It's now being reported Kohl's is facing strong criticism for the promotion of merchandise related to Pride Month. A few social media groups are even pushing to boycott Kohl's stores. Do people still shop at Kohl's? Apparently they do. But they had baby onesies or something like that. That's what we're seeing on Twitter. I have to wonder, it is becoming painfully clear that if you start to embrace this stuff, it is damaging to your company, and it's creating a self-fulfilling prophecy where there's no excuse for any company to do it. It's really crazy, actually. Bud Light implodes, and they double down. It's only going to get worse from here. I'm going to say it again. As a reason, look, I don't want to give you any financial advice. I'm just saying, I don't know how anyone could hold Anheuser-Busch stock at this point. When they actually say, hey, you know that thing that cost us 30% of our customers? Let's do more of it. Clearly, people don't like what you're doing, which results in the Bud Light effect hitting Target stores, who now see, I think, what do we have here? Target in free fall. Retail giant's market value plunges by $13 billion as shares drop by another 2.14 for the 9th consecutive day as chain scrambles to recover from backlash against Pride tuck-friendly swimwear. Wow. These companies that continue to embrace this, it's remarkable. We're now looking at, I kid you not, $40 billion wiped out between Target and Bud for embracing pride and wokeness. The Bud Light effect is real. Regular people are saying no, and the cascade is happening. It's going to get worse. If you're, I'll be careful how I say this. The stock of Target and Bud will not stop here. Two things are happening. The companies are doubling down, which means what made the stock go down in the first place will keep happening. And two, when you enter that bear market, people are going to say, I don't want to hold a hot potato. So they're going to sell. I mentioned this the other day. If you sold your Anheuser-Busch stock right when the controversy started, saying, let's put it this way. This is not advice. If John Doe was holding Anheuser-Busch stock and said to himself, I will never hold a stock that is involved in any controversy because it can only go down. Sold right when this happened, $63 at the start of the controversy. He would have saved a massive amount of money, double-digit percent. I think it's 15 to 16%, maybe more, maybe 17 at this point. Could have bought Molson Coors and then not only saved, but gained 20 more percent. So somebody who had 10 grand could have gained by now a couple $1,000s by switching. Those that didn't see their 10 grand down now to about 7. Maybe that's maybe harsh, maybe like 8 something. But either way, why would you want to lose money? Who in their right mind is sitting there thinking like, I'm going to keep holding on to this stock? They say 2 months ago, Bud Light rolled the dice on a marketing push involving Dylan Mulvaney, et cetera, et cetera. About $27 billion in market value has vanished, falling to $107.44 billion through the end of May, down from $134.55 billion as tracked by Dow Jones. The stock is down. Oh, wow. A 20% drop. May was the third worst month on record for company shares. Wow, they're down 20%. And I believe this is today. We have here the tracker for today, I guess, on oh wow, look at that. 9 a.m. it spiked to 53.79, where it's currently at 53.42. Let's do 6 months. Oh wow, look at that. So it was fairly stable around 60. They had a really good month in March, 66, and then they sponsored Dylan Mulvaney. Slam. All the way into the gutter. Now, this is remarkable because during the controversy in April, people were resisting. Look at this. Let me tell you, man. On April 1st, they sponsored Dylan Mulvaney, and that was where their peak was, and it goes down. Controversy up to April 12th has people freaked out, but then people buy the dip. They buy the dip. They say, you know what? It dips again, but then spikes. And I'll tell you what happened in May. The sales data came out. The sales data came out showing 30% drop off. And then people went, holy crap. This is not just some fluke. Bang. From 65.90 on May 4th, where we thought there was a recovery happening, all the way down now to 53.40. And I don't think we are seeing anywhere near the end. Look at this volume. This is crazy. The volume spiking at this time. You know what it was? People were buying a lot, probably selling a lot. I bet a lot of people sold out when the controversy started. And a bunch of people were just like, I'll buy into Bud. People who weren't paying attention. That's why it dips, because people are like, yo, get me out of here. Smart move by those people. And then other people were like, wow, Bud's down at 63. I'll buy the dip. And then, talk about regret. I guarantee it. There may be some people who are like, look, I don't pay attention to that stuff. I bought a bunch and I'll forget about it. Given a long enough period of time, it'll probably recover. The general mentality I hear from a lot of people is, I'll put it this way. In 2008, when the market crashed, a bunch of people panicked and sold off a ton of their stock and assets. And then within 3 years, it had completely recovered and was up. So if you just did nothing, you were fine. The people who panic sold lost a lot. I wonder if they're thinking, you know what? We're probably at the bottom. I don't think it's the bottom. I really don't. I'm not going to say I don't know for sure. It may go back up. I don't know. But we also have Target going way down. And if we're seeing Bud Light, Target, and now Kohl's starting to take a hit, my friends, we are quite literally looking at the Bud Light effect. It has nothing to do with pride. It has nothing to do with the culture war. It has everything to do with the market has created a law. If a company is embroiled in a culture war controversy, their stock will go down. Now, the direct correlation is LGBT pride stuff. And what do we have right now in this month? Pride Month. I'm willing to bet many of these companies are thinking, this is mainstream, it's normal, we can carry on. No, I don't think so. I really don't think you can. Daily Mail says Target has lost $13 billion. It comes as the chain seeks to recover from a backlash against its female swimwear range, which gives adult wearers the option to tuck male genitalia. Wow. The company's market value had been $74 billion, with shares trading at $160 as of May 17th, but stock fell later that week when it made adjustments to its Pride merchandising plan. It was done to avoid a Bud Light situation, a disastrous marketing decision to promote Bud Light's beer with Dylan Mulvaney, et cetera. They always do. It's like we know at this point. It's been 2 months. So what is this? Pride adult bikini swim bottom. Okay, whatever. I don't know. They want to mention that this trans Satanist influencer, who I guess is claiming not to be a Satanist, is that what it is? But they have images showing all of the Satanist stuff that they produced. There's a bunch of shirts that say like Satan uses preferred pronouns or something like that. Supports. Take a look at this. Pride merchandise displayed at Target on May 31st, San Francisco, California. It says a LGBTQIA Target artist designed for our Pride collection, Pride Target. Take a look at the colors. White, pink, blue, brown, black, purple, dark blue, green, yellow, orange, red. There's nothing to do with pride. This is a cult symbol. It is a cult religious symbol. If you want to say that pride was like the rainbow flag represented something, I get that. But now they say there's black and brown people, there's trans people. Maj Touré made an interesting point in that the trans flag uses the same colors as the flag. It's a tough one. It uses the same colors for what these people describe themselves as maps, the pedophiles. Similar colors. And a bunch of people got mad that he pointed it out, saying, no, that's the trans colors. And he mentions that. He says, yes, the question is, why are they using the same colors? Because the pedophile flag has been around. They've used it for a while. So why would you be like, yeah, the colors are the same? And they're actually very similar flags. The trans flag is like 3 colors. It's like blue, pink, white, pink, blue. And then the flag that pedos use is like blue, light pink, white. It's like very, that's what he was basically pointing out. And they got really, really, really angry. And they were like, no, this is fake news, fake news. Okay, well, look, man, I can tell you this. They're calling it LGBTQIA pride or whatever they want to call it. But the symbol I don't even know what the symbol means anymore, other than it represents the cult. This new religious movement that has no logic. Look, for me, what makes something a cult is there a logic to what they do? And if there's not, and they're blindly following something without understanding why or having any real reason, cult. I think there are many people who are cult-like followers of Trump. I believe there are many people who are cult-like followers of Christianity. And then I believe there are a lot of people who think Trump is the right guy for a variety of reasons and are understanding of criticisms of him. I think there are people who are Christians who can have logical conversations about their views of the world and why they believe what they believe. And I'm like, okay. I believe there are people who believe in opposing discrimination and they can logically break down why it's good. I can tell you why I think diversity is a good thing, but diversity actually represents a difference in worldview. It represents a wide range of opinions of different kinds of people from different kinds of backgrounds. And that decentralization can help us solve problems better. But that's not what they're pushing. They're a cult. When they say diversity, equity, and inclusion, they don't actually mean it. They make movies like Black Panther and then say it's diverse. It's not diverse at all. They talk about inclusion, but they actively insult and engage in hate speech and mockery of people from different walks of life. It is just some weird, creepy cult. But more to the point, as I wrap the segment up, Bud Light is doubling down. Target likely will as well. I mean, when they said they're hiding the Pride stuff, they still publicly stated they were going to keep doing it. And now we are in what they call Pride Month. I call June American Greatness Month. It's the greatest month. Everyone agrees. It's American Greatness Month. And as you all know, the rainbow was God's covenant to all life on earth to never flood the earth again. I tweeted about this. I am not Christian, nor Jewish, nor do I actually hold true any of those stories. The point I was simply making is that all of these companies that are putting up the rainbow, why should you let them take the rainbow from you? The rainbow has been a symbol of Christianity and Judaism for forever. So I just say this, thank you for putting up the rainbow to symbolize your praise of the Lord. They don't really mean it, but symbols have meaning because we give them meaning. So take the meaning back. Don't let these weird cultists just claim these things. And that's the thing to me. And I was telling Seamus, I was like, to put the rainbow behind you. And he's like, oh, I was on the wrong message. And I'm like, dude, if you refuse to use your own symbols because someone else did, no, I don't think so. Now, you can lose control completely of a symbol. And when that happens, then I understand not using it. At this point, however, the rainbow is still the covenant, is still God's covenant. So use it. I don't understand. Just outright use it. Show up to church wearing the rainbows and say it's God's covenant. And then guess what? You will probably see a bunch, like, who has more cultural influence, Christians or the LGBTQ groups? We'll see. But I'll tell you, final thoughts. Anybody holding Bud Light stock is going to lose everything because I don't see why anybody, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. Bud Light just announced they're giving more for the Pride stuff, despite the fact that they've seen a massive backlash because of it. They don't care. They don't care that they know they're destroying the company. I'll say it two ways. Donating this money and sponsoring Pride likely will cause more consumer backlash. But there's something else. There's going to be some savvy businessman who says, I don't care about Pride. I don't care about donations. I care about if the company makes money. And two things he's now looking at. 30% decline in sales. Good indicator you should sell, I suppose. Not advice, I'm saying hypothetically. But then he's probably also thinking to himself, there's clearly no leadership here. And if a company has no leadership, why would I expect the stock to go up? I wouldn't. If the pilot jumps out of the plane, I expect the plane to crash. Good luck. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.